Harper Business and HarperAudio present The Power of Flexing: How to Use Small Daily Experiments to Create Big Life-Changing Growth by Susan J. Ashford. Performed by Megan Tusing. Introduction. What would you do if you discovered, after spending 20 years helping to lead a successful and widely respected business, that you needed to learn how to lead all over again? That's what happened to Maggie Bayless. And to make matters worse, Maggie found herself facing not one, but 3 equally daunting challenges in her work and personal life all at once. Bayless's first challenge grew out of a major change at her workplace. Bayless had been a co-founder and a co-managing partner of a well-known business-to-business training firm. She loved the work, and the company was successful, steadily adding clients, growing its staff, and expanding its revenues and its profitability. But the funny thing was that Bayless, though one of the chief officers of the company, had somehow avoided having too many direct reports. "Every time we hired someone new," she recalls with a chuckle, "I'd say to my partner Stas, 'That's fine, as long as they report to you.' It worked great, until the day when Stas announced his retirement. I was so happy for Stas," Bayless says. "And then I realized, that means everyone here is going to report to me now." Suddenly, the business veteran, a gifted advisor who had helped many in the company cope with their own difficult leadership challenges, would have to start managing the whole team herself, guiding them and making tough decisions, helping them cope with thorny client issues, resolving conflicts among members of her team, making fair decisions about how to allocate resources, and balancing conflicting strategic demands. For the first time in years, Bayless found herself wondering whether she had what it took to be successful on the job. Were her leadership abilities and her interpersonal skills up to par? It didn't help that 2 personal challenges had simultaneously popped up in Bayless's life. One was expected, but it still involved the stresses that often accompany change. Her youngest daughter left for college, leaving Bayless and her husband with an empty nest for the first time in more than 25 years. The other was unexpected and deeply traumatic. A serious health scare that required emergency surgery, 2 additional operations, and the risk of long-term complications that could hamper Bayless's ability to work at all. For Bayless, this triple threat year would test her in unprecedented ways. Could she develop the new range of skills, in leadership and in personal effectiveness, that she would need to master the business, family, and physical difficulties she suddenly faced? Could she make these difficult and emotional experiences work for her and her personal growth? The answers to these questions would have a huge impact on Bayless herself. But they would also affect her family, her colleagues, her clients, and the long-term success of the company she had co-founded and the people who were counting on her to shepherd it into the future. While Maggie Bayless's circumstances were uniquely her own, we all face unexpected, unfamiliar experiences that call for new talents, new insights, and new abilities. In fact, almost everyone can expect to be in Bayless's shoes, suddenly needing to change and grow at some point in their life. Especially in today's unpredictable world, we all have times when we face unexpected change and the anxiety it can create. We all know what it is like to have many difficult things on our plate all at once. By practicing the power of flexing, you not only learn more about yourself, but develop a resilience muscle that will help you get through these tough times. Welcome to the Power of Flexing. This book is about how people like Maggie Bayless, and like you and me, can develop the soft, interpersonal skills we need to manage and control our emotions, communicate well, lead effectively, adapt to changing conditions, and solve complex problems. And while we refer to these skills as soft, they're vitally important. In fact, 92% of respondents in Deloitte's Global Human Capital Trends report rate these skills as critical to employee retention, better leadership, and a more meaningful culture. Such skills are needed to overcome the challenges we face in business, and to be a better leader within a company
Sample complete. Ready to continue?